Hello and welcome back. If you've seen my videos before, it's great to see you again. If you haven't, my name is Abby and I talk all about mindset and the healthy approach that we can have to help ourselves achieve our goals, basically. So today what I really wanted to talk about is balance. So with everything in life, you have balance. You have good things, you have bad things, you have night, you have day, you have winter, you have summer. Everything is all a mix of balance, and this really is important and really significant when it comes to our mindset and our motivations and just generally the whole tone of our thoughts. So really, what I first wanted to say is that it's important to think to realize that most of us are always aiming to be a more positive person. So we try to be more positive because it makes us more productive. It helps us work towards our goals. And we try to think that a negative thought is bad. And in some ways it is. But it's also important to realize that you will always have negative thoughts. We will always have negative thoughts. And mindset is not about eliminating negative thoughts. It's about accepting them, understanding where they're coming from, and then choosing to have a more positive outlook despite of the situation. So to give an example, if you think about your day and you try to do your absolute best in a day, you wake up, you're just like, yes, I'm going to get everything done. I've got a list of things I want to do. I'm going to hit a positive approach on absolutely everything. And you do carry that positive spin throughout the day. And I've talked about this before, that's starting off in the morning with that positive thought helps you have a better day. But what if there are circumstances that are completely outside of your control that are more negative? The problem with life as itself is that when you care deeply about the people around you, the people that you love, your friends, your family, you care deeply about your work, your and the other outside influences, when something impacts those negatively, so say a family member is going through a tough time, or your friend is going through a tough time, if you really care about your job and your work, then those things are outside of your control and they impact us negatively, and it's natural for them to impact us negatively because we care, because we love, because we give parts of ourselves to everything else around us. And that will have a negative impact on your mindset and your ability to deal with things, because you cannot love without feeling the hurt. You cannot give without feeling the loss. And that's the balance. Thinking that because you feel that way is negative is actually negatively impacting you, because it is good to feel things that are negative because it means that you have cared. The difference is whether or not you make decisions based on those negative thoughts and whether or not you carry that negativity into the other elements of your life. And that's where the balance comes in, and that's where your mindset really comes in. Because if you think of that situation that is causing you pain and is causing you hurt, it is important for you to feel that pain and for you to go through that hurt and for you to process that within yourself, because we cannot hide away from our emotions. It will always catch up with you eventually. You cannot hide away from how that is impacting you. When it comes to one of the important stages of grief, for example, is accepting it by feeling that pain. When you shy away from it, it gets bottled up and then impacts the other areas of your life. So it's important to accept that there are things that are going to happen that is going to make you feel more negative. And you do need to process that in the best way that you can process it. But it is important not to let that impact the other areas of your life. So if you are going through a hard time, then accept that that is what it is. You might not be able to get your way out of it. It might be something that's completely out of your control, and you do need to deal with that. But you need to think, just because I'm having a hard time in my relationship, for example, that doesn't mean that my work needs to be affected. I can still put in the positivity that still going to have a good day at work because I can control that, and thinking that I'm not going to let it impact my health. I'm still going to prioritize myself, provide myself with the food and the nutrition that my body needs, make sure that I drink enough water, make sure that I still exercise, because whereas that is hard, it doesn't mean that I can't look after myself. It doesn't mean that I cannot look after my children or my friends or my family. To feel that pain doesn't have to impact every element of your life. And that's where your whole mindset is so important in these times that are more difficult, when you are going through that hard time, because we all do go through them. I'm going through one at the moment, and I have to keep reminding myself, just because that situation is really rubbish, it is rubbish, it doesn't mean that actually I need to take that and negatively impact the other relationships that I have in my life. It doesn't mean that I negatively have to impact my friends or my family. It doesn't mean that I should not show up for work, that I shouldn't be the best person that my clients need me to be, that I shouldn't come on here and try and help you. Because yes, that is hard, and it is something that I'm processing, but it doesn't mean that it has to impact every part of my life. I'm still exercising, I'm still eating a good balanced diet, I'm still staying hydrated, I'm still pouring into other people, because that is part of who I am. And it's finding that balance, that yin yang balance, effectively, of accepting the bad, doing what you can to help it, but also looking at the positives and the bright things, because you do have so much going for you. You have so much good things in your life, and it may not seem like it, especially when the negatives are impacting multiple areas. It can feel very overwhelming, but that's where your mindset comes in. Because if you focus on the things that you can't control, then you are going to feel more overwhelmed, and you're going to feel more negative, and you're going to struggle more. But if you think, okay, that is outside of my control, that is something that I do just need to go through with the support of your friends and family. Don't forget, people are there to support you, people are there to help you, but it is something that we all do have to go through. But if you think of that positive mindset of, yes, it is rubbish, but I still have a job, that I'm still bringing in money, I'm still bringing in income, I'm still supporting my life, I'm still supporting my household. I still have people that I can phone up and go have a drink with if I want to. I still have family members that I can go see. It might be that you have children that you get a lot of joy from. It might be that actually that's the side of your life that is hard, because having kids is really hard. But then you've got the other areas of your life that you can look for the joy. And then once you find that again, and once you find that feeling of that positivity, that I can get through this, then that difficult situation you're going through does become easier, because it's not so overwhelming. It is just one part, a difficult part, a hard part, but it is only one part. And it's something that we can then not necessarily shift the mindset on that, because it depends on what it is. But if you shift your overall mindset, then you will be able to work your way through it easier. One of the main things that happens when we're going through a difficult time is that because we start stressing, we don't look after ourselves, we don't look after our bodies, we don't sleep well, we don't focus on pouring into ourselves. And then we just feel even worse, and it becomes harder and harder to deal with everything that's going around. And this is all what your mindset is doing to you. It then impacts all the other parts of your life, and everything just becomes so much harder. And that's when we start to slip into depression. And it's important to realize that just because you need to go through the pain, just because you need to experience it and deal with it in whatever way you can do, it doesn't mean that by giving into it and feeling it, it doesn't mean that you are it doesn't make you weak, it makes you strong. It doesn't mean that you are going to spiral, because if you have that healthy balance of the other positives that you can hold on to, then that puts you in a really good place to deal with what you need to deal with. And then the world is your oyster when it comes to your goals, because You are able to still focus on the things that you need to focus on, and you are able to still be the person that you've always been, that you always can be, because you can get through the hard things. You absolutely can get through whatever it is that you're going through. We can all get through it. We are all given the tools that we need to get through it. We just need to keep that mindset of, yes, it is hard and I do need to deal with it. I am going to deal with it. I am dealing with it. I'm not going to bottle it up. But I do not need to let that impact every other decision in my life. And it's really, really hard to do that. And sometimes you'll have to remind yourself several times in a day. But if you just take a breath and think, is this reaction that I have to this because I'm struggling? Or is this the reaction that is a genuine reaction for me? Because if you just take that minute and go, hang on a minute, is that how I really want to react to the situation? You will find it a lot easier. And so you might have to remind yourself several times a day. It's 10:30 in the morning and I've already reminded myself 4 or 5 times, no, take a deep breath, don't react that way. That's not how I want to react to this. That's just me dealing with the pain that I'm dealing with. And think, what does that mean to me? What do I need to do to give my best to that? And it's just a process of getting used to doing that. And the more you do it, the easier it will become and the more positive you will be. Because when we can deal with what life throws at us, then we are capable of doing anything. So that's really my message for today. I hope it helps. And please feel free to like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. And I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.